Okay, it has been a while since you guys have last been on the balcony, and yeah, it's not looking the best. In all fairness, I've been traveling all across Europe and Asia studying urban green spaces. I've been away for around about 4.5 months, so the garden really is not looking its best right now. But I'm going to be showing you how to revive your gardens, what to sow from February. We're getting back to basics. Before I do a balcony garden tour now, what I'm going to do is show you what the balcony looked like before I went away on my research trip. It was looking glorious. So you got a two-part video coming up. In the next video, I'm going to show you wins and fails from the garden to show you what it's looking like now. And then I'm going to show you how I revive this garden and what I'm going to be sowing in February. Let's have a look and see what the garden looked like last year. Last year, I completely transformed the way I thought about my garden. I spent a lot of time focusing in on perennials and low maintenance planting because my schedule doesn't always allow me to get into the garden as much as I would like. OGs to the channel would remember that this passion fruit used to be up on the arches. I moved it last year and just look at the blooms, and there were so many more buds to come. Moving the Passiflora and having it up against the wall took it away from the wind, and now it's thriving. But not everything against my rose arch was thriving. My climbing roses were absolutely decimated by aphids. And if you watched my video meeting Ian from Peter Bill's Roses, he explained that climbing roses require a lot of water. I was away from the garden quite a lot last year, so I wasn't able to keep up with the watering schedule. So I decided to give these roses a Chelsea chop and then replant them into different pots that were slightly larger. I worked really hard at using colour as a method of attracting pollinators into the garden. So I used quite a lot of pinks and purples. As you can see, my window boxes were absolutely flourishing, and I used those window boxes as a way to attract the pollinators into the garden. Once they were on the window boxes, they found themselves all throughout the rest of the garden. However, I will say that last year happened to be the year that I saw the least amount of pollinators in my garden. It was a really strange one, so if anyone else had the same thing, let me know below. I also included lots of alpines like dianthus on the garden, and they absolutely thrived. And it was touch and go with some of my lupins. The slugs on here just ate them alive. The pond went from strength to strength. In fact, I have now got 4 ponds on this garden. 3 of them you're able to buy from my website. The scabiosas were the gift that kept on giving, just bloom after bloom, along with some of my favourite plants, salvias and foxgloves. However, I kept losing my hookeras, so I decided to dig into one of my containers and investigate. And here's what I found. So, this hooker is not doing too well. Actually. It was looking pretty normal until I took a little bit of a closer look. If you look closely, you may be able to see from another angle. Okay, I brought it inside and look. So that's the grub. And did you notice? That right there is the adult. Look, that same grub has now hardened off. If you don't know, these are vine weevils, and they are very common in containers. These guys will probably be my biggest battle for 2025. I installed my balcony rose arches around about 2 years ago, but due to wear and tear, look at the state of them. Okay, so in these 2 boxes, I've got 2 new arches. So I need to open this up and then construct it, take down these, take off the solar panel lights, and then, yeah, I mean, how hard could this be? Okay, so they're actually black. Thought they were green, but that's cool. That's cool. I'm not really an instructions kind of person. This is looking too complicated. This is like the part where I think, oh, can I just call someone, see if someone else can come and do it for me? Okay, all right, let's get going. A, B. Was this E? Oh, no, B. Okay. Okay, so I've got the base done. And what I learned from last time is actually it is better to get this into a pot, into the container, because as you get to the top, the balcony is actually not as wide as what the frame is, so there needs to be a bit of bending to get the top sections together. So I'm going to find some pots to put these in on either side, get that in first, and then build as I go up. And I've got 2 clematis here, and they've been growing up the roses, so I need to untwine the clematis, move out the containers, move the wisteria, and then take down the arches and the solar lights. Within seconds, disaster struck. I was devastated. I have no words. The rose arches happen to be one of my favourite features on my balcony garden. However, it's really important to figure out what will work in that space. The front of the arches are more subjected to wind, so where possible I would avoid using any plants with large leaves. Jasmine and honeysuckle seem to work really well on the arches at the front. I know you see me struggling with this arch. Okay, so it is a week later, and as you can see, there is no change, and that is because I needed to get a screwdriver so that I could actually make the screws tighter. But in actual fact, what had really happened is, as I was working and doing the arch, one of these fell down the hole there. So now I'm going to have to take off one of these sections here to make the arch feel complete, and I was so vexed by this situation that I haven't been out here in a week. But today is the day that I'm going to sort this out. Listen, if you are new to this channel, I keep it 100% real, like I'm gonna be honest. Anyway, when you see me next, I swear, this is gonna be done. Okay, so here is one of the older ones. Okay, so moment of truth. Is this going to work? So I've got my carrots here, but these big ass dandelions are just taking over the raised bed. There's 3 of them. Look how big this one is. To be honest, I normally leave weeds, but on this occasion I wanted to make some space for the carrots, but also because I needed to get into this container for the rose arches. Okay, now it's clear. So we've got the carrots in, we've got garlic as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the other half of the arch into this container, and so I'll be sitting directly underneath the arch this time round. So in order to get it to work, I have to get it behind this railing, and as you can see there's a little gap here. So now that it's there, I can then attach the middle parts. Should be okay. But I'm going to give that window a wipe first because it is annoying me. It took a couple of hours to do. To be honest, I kind of just enjoyed doing this mindless activity. It was a much needed break to clear my mind from planning my research trip. Got it on, but there's a slight issue. This is way taller than that one, so I'm going to have to go back, take off this one, bring it down a little bit, and then that should get it almost equally as high as what the original arches were. So I've got the jasmine here. I'm going to actually repot this because I've had this for I think 3 years now. So I'm going to take this out. Oh my gosh. It never ceases to amaze me just how many species have called my balcony its home. I 100% believe that if we make these green spaces, nature will always find a way. As I was moving the containers to build the arches, I found so many hiding places for these little creatures. A week later, on one summer's evening, this is what the arches now look like. My sunset view might be blocked, but it's still a joy to be out here. Okay, so the full-on balcony tour will be the next video, but I did just want to show you the arches. So here you can see where the Malabar spinach was and just how tall it got. And then just look at the jasmine. So the jasmine travelled and has completely taken over this side of the arch, and just look at the passiflora. So the passiflora has gone from the trellis and it's climbed its way all the way around, and this is the perfect example. So look, we still have some leaves here from the passiflora, but then as we get round to this side, you'll see it's dropped everything. And as for that wisteria that broke, it's absolutely fine, because as we have a look, there are new buds everywhere. Luckily, the jasmine completely hides that missing section of the arch. At the end of the month, I'm going to let you know what I'm choosing to grow up the arches this year. So, stay tuned. In my next balcony video, I'm going to show you what I'm going to be sowing this February. And yeah, I need to fix my grow table because that is looking a whole mess. Anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and hopefully I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye! This year I don't have any big projects, so that means I can focus more on the cloud garden, which means that you guys are going to get even more gardening content this year, as well as my research trip. Hopefully I'll see you all again soon. Bye!